Hi, I'm Brimer, and I'm really excited to officially launch Brimalabs. So you might be asking, what is Brimalabs? Well, Brimalabs is an AI development company. We partner with businesses to truly understand their pain points, and we build AI revenue systems that eliminate revenue gaps and also unlock predictable, repeatable growth. And we do this with four pillars. One, acquisition system, conversion system, onboarding system, and retention system. So we come into your business to truly understand what's going on across all four sections and then build custom AI solutions that allows you to take your business from where you are right now to where you want to go. And in today's video, I'm going to demo our acquisition system, identify and prioritize the right prospects so your pipeline fills with leads, accounts that are ready to buy. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. So if you do any form of outreach at all, whether it's cold email, LinkedIn DM, cold calling, or any form of cold outreach, or let's say you have a BDR or an SDR team, this is exactly for you. And I'm going to show you how much money you are spending in research tools and also manual repetitive tasks. So here we have our ROI calculator that we designed. This ROI calculator is going to help us calculate how much manual prospecting is costing you. So let's say you're a $10 million company, you're currently making $10 million ARR, and let's say you have 5 BDRs. Usually you have 3 to 5 BDRs around that age, maybe more or less. Just for the sake of this video, these are not real numbers. These are just demo numbers that gives you an idea of how much money is being spent on manual prospecting, but also research tools. Now, let's say the average BDR salary is $50,000 in your company, and a monthly lead volume is 500. So across those 5 BDRs, each of them have 100 lead volume that they have to research and reach out to every single month. So each BDR is 100, total 500. And let's say the average deal size is not 50. Let's say the average deal size is, let's say, I don't know, $7,000 per prospect, right? So now what I'm going to show you is a day in the life of a BDR. And this is something I've actually done when I used to do manual prospecting for my company. These are some of the steps that I used to go through every single time. And so I'm going to show you how much time the average BDR is spending, but also the average founder is spending. So the first thing is, database search, right? So this is when you say, I'm going to focus on, let's say, 50 leads. And step one is the batch operation. You spend time once to find multiple leads, which makes sense, right? So we'll divide that time across all the leads you find and pretty much per lead cost and all that. So let's say since we're doing monthly lead, let's say we're doing 500 leads. And let's say that lead is from Apollo, ZoomInfo, or LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Now, you need to decide which accounts to even target. So this is when you create a form of ICP, which truly helps you understand who you're targeting, their pain points, what types of problems you're trying to solve for them, their desires and motivations, right? So let's say ICP time takes about 5 minutes, right? You have to do research on those ICPs, and then you have to go between, Apollo, ZoomInfo, LinkedIn to scrape data from that specific ICP. So 5 minutes spent just on that, and then you open Apollo, and then you start exporting lead lists, which would take about, let's say, a minute, right? Now, when you scrape that data, so let's say you've created the ICP, right? You know exactly who you're targeting, but then you go into Apollo or LinkedIn ZoomInfo and then get that data. This is what it's going to look like in a spreadsheet. And it's not the best when it comes to how it looks, right? So there's so many things here. There's the email, first name, last name, website, and I have to reformat this to make it look good. Last name, first name, company name, title, industry, keywords. So you have all those things that you've scraped, let's say from Apollo or LinkedIn Zoom Info, it gives you in this spreadsheet. First off, it doesn't look good at all, right? And so it would take few minutes to go through this list and then try to, format it in a way that feels appealing for you. So that might take, let's say, a minute for that to happen, let's say more, right? Now, after that, let's say you're sending 10 emails every single, let's say you're researching 10 emails every single day. Now, when I get this spreadsheet, I'm going to do a few things. This is when my research starts, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to their website. Let's choose any website here. Let's say this website, right? We click on the website. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start reading. I'm going to start taking notes. And I'm also start copying and pasting things that I like from this website. It also means that I have to manually read through every single thing that I think is important in the website. So I'm going to look at, what it's going to solve for, injured on the job, right? And then you have like our network. So I will look at these things, patient application, weight loss, contact us. I'll also watch these videos. I will read through the about us, why choose us, and all this. So what I'm going through is, as a BDR, I have to manually go through this website and research every single thing and then take notes. And the reason why I'm taking notes is because I want to create the know me, show me you know me type of thing, wherein when I eventually send an email or a LinkedIn DM to this person, to the decision maker, I want them to feel like I've done a lot of research on behalf of them, right? So that's the first thing I'm going to do. So I'm going to go through their website. I'm also going to Google them. I'm going to Google the company, if they have any recent achievements, if they have any recent funding news, anything that I have to get from that company. And I'm also going to check out their LinkedIn, right? So I'm going to click on their LinkedIn. And when I click on the LinkedIn, I'm looking for a few things. I'm looking at when did they last post, what type of content they're posting, what type of content that's being reposted, what their job description is like, and also what their bio. And again, I'm pulling data from all of these things so that I can be able to send them a personalized outreach. And this is manual, painful job. And I've done this several times. Sometimes it takes me 30 to 45 minutes just to research one prospect because I want it to be personalized and make them feel like I've done research to contact them. So I'll look at their post and I'll look at several things to give me some form of signal that will say, hey, this person is ready for what I'm about to pitch them or my solution, right? So I'll look through their education, I'll look through their skills, recommendation, and all that. So this takes about 15 to 20 minutes minimum just for it to happen. So you Google their company, you scan the website, you check LinkedIn for recent posts, and then you hunt if they have any news articles, if they have any YouTube videos. You have to go through those YouTube videos and watch them. And the goal is to gather as much intel as possible, but the problem is you're using 5 different browsers. So I'm using LinkedIn, I'm using their website, and also if I have to Google this person or if I have to Google like recent news, recent accomplishments, jobs they're trying to hire for, it will have probably 4 or 5 different tabs open on my laptop, right? So this takes about 20 minutes on this research, but then it's not all. Now I have to copy all that data and put it in a spreadsheet, right? So every single thing that I looked in their websites or things I like in their LinkedIn, I copy all those things and put it in a spreadsheet, in a Google Doc. And once I collect that data, I go to ChatGPT, paste it on ChatGPT for ChatGPT to create a personalized message. And again, I have to prompt ChatGPT, I have to give ChatGPT context so that it can better create a personalized email for me, right? But the issue is you're not just using ChatGPT. Now you're taking that data and comparing it with Claude. You're comparing it with Perplexity. So now you have three different tools, same prospect, and they might give you totally complete different outlook when it comes to personalized outreach. So now you're left confused, and now you have to decide which model you think is best for that specific outreach. So it's all guesswork, right? So let's say that alone takes you about 7 minutes, right? Just to complete that process. And then now, okay, I have to make sure that this person's email is verified. Because if I don't, and I send him an email and it's bounced, I might have an issue, right? And so now I have to set up a Hunter.io or Apollo LinkedIn and pay for their email verification tool and try to see if it's verified. That's one. But if it's not verified, they say the email is invalid, you have no choice. In some instance, let's say you were able to find first name, last name, website, but then you weren't able to find your email. Now you have to scrabble through going to Google and paying for additional tool just to get the email of this specific decision maker. So in total, you might spend minimum, let's say 4 minutes just on this. And then now to personalize, this is when you try to personalize the template and not make it sound robotic. Remember when I talked about how now you're using 3 different AI tools to compare the email personalization outreach, using Claude, you're using Perplexity, and now you're using ChatGPT to compare. And then now it's just a back and forth and say, hey, don't sound robotic. But also, if let's say you have to research 50 prospects per day, it means when you go to ChatGPT or Claude, all those messages, all those chat history, you have to scroll all the way up to find the prospect or scroll all the way down. So it's confusing, it's time consuming, and it's annoying, right? Because context get lost and insights get lost while you're switching between 20 different tools. So let's say that takes about 7 minutes, and then wait, which tab was I in? So now you have 10, 12 different tabs trying to figure out and research the same person, trying to find their email, trying to create this personalized outreach, maybe check their Facebook to see what type of dog they have and see and see if you can use that as an email hook, which most of the time doesn't most of the time it's not professional at all, right? And so you're scrambling through their websites, you're scrambling through Google, you're scrambling through LinkedIn, you're scrambling through their Instagram stories, their Facebook post that they did 20 years ago about their dog, right? And that's pretty much the reality for people that are doing research, whether it's founders like me, whether it's SDRs or BDRs. This is painful, it's time consuming, and it's annoying, right? So in total, it takes about 52 minutes on average just to research one prospect. 52 minutes. Now, that's good research. A lot of times, research is not even being done. But the issue is, if you don't research somebody, it means that you won't be able to send an email that will make them feel like this person I've spent a lot of time researching and getting to know me, right? And so this is the best thing you can do when it comes to prospecting, which is research. But the issue is it's manual, it's time consuming, and now it's going to cost the company $21 an hour in labor cost, right? Now, this is the first pain point. Let's go to the second pain point, which is tools. So how much money are you spending on tools? So This gives us an idea of how much money is being spent on tools, and I've spent this amount of money as well. When it comes to outreach, when it comes to research. So let's remove everything. And Apollo, right? We talked about Apollo. Apollo is a great place to get data. But again, you're using Apollo, using Zoom Info, and you're also using LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And if you are a company at this stage at $10 million ARR, maybe less, you might be also spending money on Clay. But the issue is you're also paying for not only one person, but all your SDRs or maybe all your BDRs, right? So now we start adding up. So for your lead gen and data, you're paying for Apollo every single month, you're paying for Zoom Info, you're paying for LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and you're also paying for Clay. For if you're technical, you're like, okay, let me pay for Apify, then I can be able to use different tools to scrape data from, right? Maybe let me be spicy and use Phantom Buster as well. Now, when it comes to research and intelligence, you're using ChatGPT, like I mentioned, you're using Claude, you're also using Perplexity Enterprise Pro for your research. And a lot of companies are using Manos. I know a company that's spending over $400 every single month just on ChatGPT subscriptions, right? And there are a lot of companies out there that ChatGPT is not enough. Now they have to get Claude, now they have to get Perplexity. The issue, it's not an issue, but it starts adding up. If you have 10, 15 SDI, it means you have to pay 15 times the monthly cost, right? So we have our lead gen stuff paid, tools that we're paying for, LinkedIn scraping, research and intelligence, right? Now we have email and verification. I remember when I talked about how if you don't want to end up getting bounced on your emails, you have to use like some form of email verification. Well, now you signed up for Hunter.io, right? And maybe never bounce, right? Now you're paying for find the mail, because hey, I can't find this person's email, and find the mail is going to help you find that email, right? Okay, so now you're paying for 2 email and verification tools, right? We're not using any CRM yet, but you're also paying for Google Workspace, because remember, all spreadsheets goes to Google Workspace, and also you're also using Google Docs to collect the data and then inputting it into ChatGPT or your recent or your favorite AI model, right? So now you have 12 tools. You're spending almost $6,000 every single month just on tools. $6,000 just on tools, and now you're paying almost $72,000 a year just on tools, right? This is insane. Just on tools, and this is just for prospecting. This is just for manual prospecting, right? So this is how much you're spending every single month, every single year on tools. Apollo, Zoom Info, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, Clay, and obviously you using some form of other tools that cost $200, $500 a month, right? That I haven't even added here, right? So now you're paying for 12 different tools just to do manual outreach. You're paying $71,000 a year. On top of that, each of your BDRs or SDR or founder is spending about 52 minutes per prospect. So now they can only do 9 prospects per day. While your competitors are doing 500 or 1,000 prospects a day, you're doing 9, right? Now, let me go through the math and just showcase what's happening here behind the scenes. Let's break things down here. So for daily capacity, you can only do 9, right? So across 5 BDRs. Remember, we have 5 BDRs, right? They can only do how many? 45, right? So you can handle 900 prospects a month, right? And for every prospect research, it's costing the company $20.83 at $24.04 an hour. So almost an hour a day is spent on research. But here's the thing, it's not just 9 per day. It means you can only do either 4 or 5, because the role of the BDR or the founder is not just research. They have to do meetings. They have to sync with their clients, right? They have to do other repetitive tasks. So which means that they can't even do 5. They can't even do 9. They might maybe only do maybe 4 or 5 prospects every single day, right? Because they have other things that they have to do. So it means time spent on repetitive tasks, it's about $10,000 every single month, and about $125,000 every single year, just on repetitive tasks. And your company is spending about 433 hours a month. That's about 5,200 hours. And 100% of your time is being spent on manual work. And the research is spent 20%. You're spending 20 minutes per prospect just on research, which is 38% of the total time, right? So by solving this, you could save over 18,000 hours, 18,000 minutes a month just on repetitive tasks, right? So we know the number, it's you spending 52 minutes. Maybe it's more, maybe it's less. But you see, when we start breaking things down, you start seeing where you're wasting time, how much time is being spent on repetitive tasks. So 52 minutes, $125,000 with repetitive work, right? Now, you're wasting about $342 every single day, right? That's 12 hours per day. Annual salary waste is about $75,000, and lost pipeline is about $604,000, right? And that's been calculated with 500 prospects they have to research a day times 12. That's 6,000 prospects you have to reach out per month, right? So let's say good personalization meeting. It means when you do a really good job with the research, and then you're able to send a personalized email. They say, hey, yeah, I'm interested to book a meeting. That's, let's say, 12%. It might be more. It's usually between 20 to 25%. But now, your current manual processing, because you are spending so much time on research, and the research is not good quality research, your meeting rate is about 3.5%. It's totally it's low, significantly low, right? Now, because of that, you're wasting about $642,000 every single year. Now, this is going to be different based off of the company and obviously based off the industry, but then we can always tweak those numbers and make it accurate based off of your real numbers, right? So this is how much you're wasting every single year, potentially wasting, right? So which means you have an 8.5% gap. So let's say in your industry there's a 40%. Let's say in your industry there's a 40% good personalization meeting rate, and you're at 2.5%, right? That's a huge gap, right? So for you to close that gap, it requires significant amount of money being spent on hiring more people to get to that point, right? Now, your tool stack. Remember we talked about the 12 tools? $71,000 every year. Your It will cost each rep about $14,366 per rep, right? And 60% of the tools are underutilized. So you're wasting $43,000 every single year. And 50% is wasted on data loss. Because now you have 12 different tools that don't communicate. ChatGPT is totally different from Claude, totally different data to Perplexity. And then you're using totally different tool. Apollo doesn't communicate with LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Apollo can communicate with all the different tools that you have. So 67% is lost between tools, right? So now your competitors are eating your lunch, pretty much. If you're doing 45 a day and your competitors are doing 2,000 a day, that's a huge gap, right? So it means you're potentially losing $257,000 to your competitors that are using AI to help streamline this. Now we talked about the manual work, but we also talked about even using AI, it gets fragmented, but then data get lost. And now, if you're using ChatGPT, for example, to do research, data get lost in the chat. Now you have to figure out which chat you were doing research on, and then you have to go scroll all the way up to figure out one insight, and then scroll all the way down to figure out another insight that you can use in your email. So either way, it doesn't really help, right? And so this is what's happening right now in the industry. Yes, it's really good to do research, but then currently the way people do prospecting costs so much money, right? It also costs so much time because 90% of that time is being spent on research, right? We talked about how it might take maybe 40 to 50 minutes to do really good research on one person, right? It's annoying, right? We also talked about how much money is being spent on tools alone, on research tool. So what if I told you we can do a better job with everything that we talked about, right? So we built a system that solves everything that I talked about. One is our ICP setup, which is the one-time foundation. If you want to solve a problem, the first thing you want to do is to have an ideal customer profile, which have the pain points, problem you're trying to solve, motivations, jobs to be done, and all that. And then we have our customer avatar, which builds detailed customer avatars based off of the ICP. And then we have our smart prospecting. We have our clean lead database that we're going to show you that's way cleaner than spreadsheet, right? And then we have our deep research, which I'm really excited to showcase. And then we have our AI personalization and then our outreach system. I do hope that these 7 steps is going to take you from just a mediocre research to a company that can do deep research at scale. Now I'm going to show you how we've been able to solve this. So now that we know how much money is being spent on tools and how much money a company might be losing every single year, let's showcase how Brimalabs solved this problem, right? So the first thing you see here is our ICP builder. I'm going to go into the lead intelligence and email finder soon. But the first thing here when you see is our AI-powered insights, customer avatar, lead search integration, and automation ready. So let's create our first ICP. Now what I've done is I have an idea, a business idea that I created before. Because of time, I'll just copy and paste it. Copy. Awesome. Yeah. So let's let's find a name for it. So let's call it cloud. Uh, let's call it cloudy land. No, cloudy land is too basic. Let's say cloudy suit. Right. Alright. So we know the business and then about your product. So this is the first step in our system, which allows you to create ideal customer profiles. I'm going to show you exactly what data is being created based off of this, but it's truly remarkable and something I haven't seen before. Right. So let's go and create ICP, and our AI behind the scenes is creating a personalized ideal customer profile based off of my prompt. Now, when you notice here, it tells you how long it's going to take, 60 to 240 seconds. Let's come back and it will be done by then. So there we go. We've already created the ICP. So this is the interface of our ICP. Let me just walk through it. On the left, it shows you the different tabs that it's been able to generate, right? It's also, since I'm in the technology industry, I would just choose on information technology industry. And the business model is B2B by default, right? And what it's doing is, based off of my prompt, it's been able to create a detailed ideal customer profile. On the right, it tells you what's happening. It also gives you an idea of required fields like tips, right? Company demographic tips focus on companies that already have budget for your type of solution, which is critical when you're creating an ICP, right? Manufacturing company, SaaS startup, and all that. And obviously, you can save progress. But what you see here is the name Cloudy Suit, right? I told them I was going to focus on companies between $500 to $500 million, right? Employee count 200 to 5,000. So now I can tweak between countries. So let's say, so right now it gave me North America, Europe, and APAC. Now, if I want to just remove Europe and just focus on North America, I can also be specific when it comes to North America. I can just say United States, right? United States. That's it. Technology stack, based off of my prompt and my business, it knows exactly the technologies that my ideal customers use. Again, this is not to eliminate the ideal customer profile research side of things, but this is to give you the edge that solves 80 to 90% of the manual work. So this is just creating the ICP, right? And it's giving you, based off of its knowledge, to create a detailed ICP based off of the point you give it. So it knows AWS, Azure, Google Cloud Platform, Docker, GitLab, CloudFormation, and all that. Right? Now, I can also remove ones that I think don't make sense, right? Or I can also add things that I think make sense. So they have Azure, they have Google Cloud Platform. I can, let me do a test here. Boom. You see that? So now I can add more, right? And I can also add their founding stage. Whether it's already selected IPO, which makes sense. But if I want to do like Series B, I can save that as well, right? Now that we see the company demographics, let's just go through decision maker, right? Now on the decision maker section, it knows exactly. It tells me exactly who the decision maker is when it comes to the personal. When it comes to the person that makes the decision to the company I want to research to, right? It tells me the primary decision maker, and it also tells me the secondary decision maker. And it doesn't only tell me that, it gives me the reason why they are the best people or the best decision maker to reach out to. and I can read it. So now as a BDR or as a founder, right, the AI said, hey, CTO are the best decision maker. Now I want to read why a CTO is the best decision makers, right? The chief CTO officer emerges as the primary decision maker for cloud security platform because they bear ultimate responsibility for the organization's technology risk and must balance security requirements and business enablement objectives, right? CTOs understand that security is increasingly a business differentiator and competitive advantage. Good stuff, right? And also, you can select which departments that the decision makers work in, right? IT, sales, marketing, finance, operation, product, right? It also tells you their level of authority in making decisions. There's the manager, there's the director, there's the VP, there's C-level, and you can pretty much select which ones that resonate well with you, right? Now, it also gives you what success look like when it comes to this decision maker. So it means when you're doing an outreach, these are the things that the decision maker might care about, right? Mean time to detection, compliance score, cloud infrastructure cost. So now when I'm doing a personalized outreach to this person, I know exactly how to communicate with them. Now, you also have their daily frustrations. What keeps them up at night? Managing security across multiple cloud environments. Now, in just 2 minutes, the AI was able to go and run deep research on that specific problem and that specific product I'm trying to solve to this decision maker, right? Lack of unified security visibility, slow incident response rate, integration complexity between security tools, right? And these are things CTOs care about, right? What they want to achieve in their career. These senior technology and security leaders are primarily focused on achieving comprehensive cloud security while enabling business agility and growth. Detailed responses. Where to find them? It gives you suggestions, right? LinkedIn, Twitter, X, industry forums, professional associations, events, blogs, right? Now, it doesn't only give you primary decision maker, it also gives you the secondary decision maker, chief information security officer. So now, when I'm doing my outreach, or when I'm doing my lead scraping, or when I go to Apollo or LinkedIn Sales Navigator, I'm focused on the primary decision maker and finding the CTO of that company to be able to pitch them my service. So in our behavioral triggers, it shows us key events, right? So for instance, security incident or breach, cloud migration project, merger acquisition, budget planning cycles. And it's giving buying signals. So as a BDR or as a founder, when I'm doing research, I can look at these are some of the triggers that I see that will make them that will give me some form of signal to say, hey, this is somebody that might be willing to buy my product. Posting about security challenges on LinkedIn, announcing cloud migration initiatives, requesting security tool demos, attending cloud security conferences, right? And so if they are actively doing this, as a BDR, now I know exactly what things I should be looking at to know that this is my perfect ideal customer, right? Buying cycle, budget range, urgency triggers, right? Now, this works for every business or industry, our ICP builder. Just tell it your business and the product you solve for, it will create a detailed, comprehensive ICP analysis. Now let's go to the pain points and needs. Biggest business problems. What they use now. It even tells us the tools that they are using now, right? What does success look like? right? And it also tells you, yeah, even though they're using these tools, but there's a problem. The challenge with this fragmented approach is that security teams spend 40 to 60% of their time on tool management, alert triage, and manual correlation rather than strategic security improvement. It gives you all this insight. What the security looks like, what's missing in the market. And this is going to give you a competitive edge on how you can position yourself as a company, but also when you're doing your outreach. Budget reality check, right? Buying process. It gives you the list of key decision makers from top to bottom. We know that the primary decision maker is the CFO, the CTO, right? But then we have the CISO, we have the VP of engineering, we have the director of cloud operations, VP of compliance, and director of security engineering. So why is this important? Well, let's say you want to research a company, but you have no idea how to get to the CFO. Well, if you know the director of security engineering, you can start a conversation with them. If you know their VP of engineering, you can start a conversation. They are not the key decision makers, they are influencers, and they can become your people that can help you eventually talk and have a meeting with that decision maker, which is the CTO. So it gives you an idea of who all those key decision makers are, and then you can select one and work your way up. You can choose the CTO. If you know the CTO, that's perfect. But then if you don't know the CTO, maybe you want to start with Director of Security Engineering, right? Influencers, it gives you all that data. Evaluation criteria, what do they look for? Implementation timeline and complexity, false positive reduction and alert prioritization, right? Every single thing. Common objections. So now you have all this data that you can use for several things. You can use it for your content strategy on YouTube, your blog post, your LinkedIn post, and you can also use it for sales calls. Because now that you understand your objections, you can position yourself as a thought leader or as a problem solver that solves the problem they're trying to solve for. And then you can navigate through their objection, right? We have the sales timeline. What does that look like, right? 1 to 2 months, 3 to 4 months. So what we've done is we've created this comprehensive tool that allows any business to create an ideal customer profile. This is the first step when it comes to client acquisition. You need to know exactly who you're targeting. You need to know exactly who you're trying to solve for. Because if you don't know who you're trying to solve for, or who you're targeting, or what type of problems they have, or to give you an insight of when they're ready to buy, then you're going to be lost. Even if you send 10,000 emails a day, it's just a waste of time, right? So that's these sections of the ICP. Now we have voice of the customer. What are customers saying? Hence the CTOs, right? CTOs often say, I need to prove to the board that our security investments are actually making us more secure, not just checking compliance boxes. So now in your pitch, on your content strategy, you want to make sure you outline this and say, hey, as a company, we're going to help you prove beyond just compliance. And these are things we're going to do X, Y, Z, right? Security leaders commonly share every time we expand to a new cloud region or service, security complexity multiplies and we lose visibility into what actually happening across our environment. So now that you know these insights, you're going to say, hey, we will help you implement cloud infrastructure, but at the same time, we're going to reduce complexities across all those regions. And then we're going to give you visibility so you're on top of everything that's happening across all your environments, right? When you pitch it that way, you're like, oh, now I have peace of mind. Now I know that if they implement this solution for me, I won't have to worry about lack of visibility. I won't have to worry about complexity increases as they increase in multiple regions. Right. So all these insights you can use into your outreach, into your content, into every single thing. Right. Data sources, customer interviews, support tickets, sales calls. Now, if you have all those things, you can also upload them in the ICP, and the ICP will be much more refreshed and detailed. Common themes: multi-cloud complexity, cost optimization pressure, emotional triggers, right? Now, I know I'm spending a lot of time on this ICP, but it's extremely detailed and it goes beyond just the ordinary ICP that you've seen. It also shows competitive intelligence, right? And I can run our AI, it will generate a custom competitive intelligence. So, based off of my industry, my business, and the problem I'm trying to solve for, it will give me competitive names. It will also tell me what my competitors are like, every single thing about them, and what they like about the competitors, what they dislike about competitors, right? What makes it difficult for them to switch from their current solution, why they would choose my business, right? Competitive positioning, and a lot more. So it's currently generating now, and soon we're going to have this comprehensive list of things that will add so much value into our ICP. So now we have competitors' name and product, right? What they like about the competitors, right? What they don't like about your competitors, which might be your competitive edge, because if they don't like things about CrowdStrike, maybe you can use that as your positioning, right? What makes it difficult for them to switch? Why they would choose you, right? Again, all data in one place. And then it also shows our time analysis. And lastly, you can review and summary. Now, we have this detailed, comprehensive ICP from basic company demographic to detailed decision maker analysis, behavioral triggers, pain points, buying process, voice of the customer, competitive intelligence, time analysis, total addressable market, right? Let's do it. So it's going to tell me my total addressable market based off of my industry, based off of the products that I'm selling, and based off of the problem I'm trying to solve for. Again, detailed time analysis, and it's going to generate in a few seconds. So this time analysis agent runs deep research. Again, this is real-time data that's happening right now. So it's a $24.6 billion market cap. Portion I can realistically reach is 8.9 billion, right? And it also tells me serviceable obtainable market I can realistically capture in 3 to 5 years, right? So now it's breaking down the total market cap, how much is available, and how much I can realistically get in the next 3 to 5 years, right? Market size analysis, I can read through all these things. Growth projections, time calculation methodology. This is detailed. This gives you the insight and intelligence you need to better understand your prospects, because you want to spend 80% of the time understanding your prospect and 20% of the time doing outreach. This is the most important thing when it comes to client acquisition, is understanding who you're targeting. So now that we have our ICP, right, we have few things. We automatically created decision makers and Apollo link that targets this specific ICP decision maker. Automatically generates that. And then you can run deep research. So now this is our ICP, our ideal customer profile, or ideal customer profile builder. Now let's take this to the next level. Now let's click on this build avatar. Based off of this ICP, we're going to be able to build custom avatars that will give us a robust understanding of our target decision makers. So let's click on avatar. When you see here is you have the primary decision maker and you have the secondary decision maker. The primary decision maker, remember, is the CTO, and the secondary is the CISO. So now let's generate a customer avatar based off of the ICP. Now, the customer avatar is created based off of the ICP. So you see how everything is connected? Every single thing is connected. And I'm going to show you why this customer avatar is important. So I'm going to go ahead and generate customer profile. So here's our customer avatar, right? For the secondary decision maker and the primary decision maker. Now, as you notice, each of them have different names, and also each of them have their title, right? So one is Cloud Bridge Solutions, second one Secure Point Technologies, Marcus, Information Technology, right? So it's also very specific on my criteria. I'm looking at 200 to 500 employees. So when you look at it, 200 to 500, 50 to 500 million dollars MRR, right? And they're both in the United States. The reason why this is crucial is because we want to make sure that the AI has as much context as possible, and context here is from the ICP, right? We were able to create an ICP. Now, based off of that ICP, we were able to create custom customer avatars. Now, I'm just going to glance through what that avatar looks like, and this gives you an idea of the person you're trying to solve for. So now it's not just ICP. Now you have a real person you can feel like you can communicate and relate to, right? So Marcus, CTO, Marcus Chen is a CTO at X, 1,200 employees, IT services company generating 180 million ARR, right? 15 years of technology experience, started as a software developer, Oracle, married to Sarah, a marketing executive with 2 children, age 8 and 12, right? So now it's becoming more personal. Psychology, pain points, motivation, and concerns, common communication styles, right? Direct and data-driven communicator who prefers detailed technical documentation and concrete metrics. Let's go to personal. Passionate about competitive cycling and participate in century rides and charity cycling events. Now it's not just a company, now it's a human being you can relate to, right? Childhood influences. Grew up in an immigrant family where parents emphasize education and hard work as paths to opportunities. Cultural background, right? Educational journey, belief systems. This AI is able to generate a deep understanding of this ICP and create detailed sections, right? Belief systems, life philosophy, role models, right? Santia at Microsoft, right? Reed Hastings, his father, former Stanford professor, right? And my favorite, personality type, ENTJ, natural leader who thrives on organizing and directing projects towards completion. So every single thing you have to know about this decision maker, who is the CTO, is all in one place, and it's generated using our own platform. Stress triggers, relaxation methods, right? Now, when you have all these insights, you can use it for so many things. You can use it on how you communicate to your prospect using cold email, LinkedIn, cold calling, in your sales calls. You can use this when you're generating content on YouTube, blog posts, LinkedIn content, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to be able to get them to feel like, oh, this person have done a lot of research on me, which took less than 60 seconds to generate. Goals, right? Behaviors, day in the life, daily habits, right? Organization, buying. What does the buying process looks like for them? What are the common objections? Who are their key influences, right? So now we know about Marcus. Now let's go to Sarah, who is the CISO, right? Again, same thing we did for Marcus is what we did for Sarah. And when you go to the personal life, Sarah grew up in a working class family in San Antonio, where her father was a mechanic and her mom worked as a school secretary, right? Belief systems, ENTJ, financial attitude, learning style, right? Role model, right? Her grandmother, her former boss, right? Local CISO mentor, right? Personal challenges, life aspirations, stress triggers. You can use all these emotional triggers, buying process, behaviors, goals. We give you all the tools you need to get somebody that have never heard about you, to get them to say, hey, I really love what you're doing. I think I want to work with you because you've spent a lot of time getting to know me, right? So there you have it. This is the first part of our system that we talked about here, which is our ICP setup and the customer avatar, right? With our tool, you can build custom ideal customer profiles at scale to help you understand your prospect faster. Plus, you can build avatars to help you take that and make it more human-like form, right? Now, you can export as a PDF, as a JSON, and you can use that data to run deep research. So now that you have the ICP and you also have the customer avatar, there's a lot of things you can do with it. You can use it in your product development roadmap. You can use it in your content strategy to showcase the different awareness levels and pitch to your and communicate in a way that make these decision makers feel like this person is talking directly to me. This is the power of an ICP, and this is the power we give to the businesses that we work with when we build them these custom tools. So working with Brimalabs, you will be able to have all these tools in hand as you build out your client acquisition system, right? So this is the first part. The second part now is you can be able to get that data and go directly to Apollo and get specifically the decision makers in that niche. So you'll be able to find decision makers of companies that are doing 550 to is it $200 million? Yeah, 50 to $500 million, who have an employee count of 200 to 500, and they're in the B2B space, right? That's the power of Brimalabs. So you can, if you want, go through it and make tweaks, or if you're content with what it is, you can just automate deep research. So the deep research, you can select the ICP Cloud Suite, or for this case, we want to find the decision makers. So now that we know the ICP, we have an idea of the customer avatar, a visual idea of who we're trying to reach out to. Now we can just copy and paste that link and start configure automation workflow. Once it's clicked, boom, processing time will take 5 to 7 minutes. It's gonna scrape leads directly. Here you have it. This is the ICP builder. You can generate as many ICPs as you want. It will have the detailed ICP analysis that we talked about. If you want to add more stuff, you can. What's one of the advantages of our tool is you can, hey, I want to add as many things here as possible, and I want to copy and paste insights here. Oops. And then I can save it. And all that data is centralized in one place, right? You don't have to scroll 20 different tabs. You don't have to like scroll different charts in ChatGPT or Claude or nothing of that. It's all in one place. And you can always update and remove the ICP, right? So that's the power of what we've already built. So now let's go to our next build, which is the lead intelligence. Now with the lead intelligence, what you're gonna see is, so since we've been able to scrape the data from Apollo, right, it goes into this lead management section. So when you see on the top the scrape leads, right, because of this demo, I was able to only scrape 42, but there's the scrape leads and also unverified emails. So remember that I told you that so if we were to scrape it, this is what it will look like. Ugly spreadsheet, right? Now, instead of spreadsheet, it's in a pretty looking dashboard, right? And what you see here is the name, the title. Again, we're targeting CTOs, right? We have their LinkedIn, we have their email, we have the company, we have the location, right? We're focusing on companies in the US, industry, day was added, and also run deep research that I'm going to talk about, which is, I think, my favorite feature that we've already built. So on this unverified emails, now our tool automatically verifies the emails. If in some instance we were not able to verify those emails, or those emails are invalid, right? Invalid, you're gonna click on run unverified emails, and it will our AI workflow on the back end is gonna generate and find the email. So this is what it looks like, which is our email finder. So for instance, let's say I need the email of Brent Bowen and I don't have the email. Our tool, Brent Bowen, name of company, LinkedIn, company website, find and verify email. Our tool will automatically go and find that email. If the email doesn't exist, then we're going to use some form of predictions. So we use their first name and use different mechanisms for us to be able to find and verify that email. All right, so we're going to find the email and then we're going to verify it. You can also run batch uploads. So let's say you have all these and you don't know their emails, right? Let's say you have all this list of people, you don't have their emails. Boom. Our tool can help you create and find those emails. Here's an example of emails that we've been able to generate. So CTO of HubSpot, he's one of my favorite builders right now. But what you see here is just like a list of like things that we can create emails that we can generate based off of just the click of a button. So now that we have all this list, right? Again, we can find unverified emails, so it will automatically go and find those emails and verify those emails. And if the emails don't exist, let's say my name is Brahma Bangor, we will run different combinations to find those emails and verify them real time. You can also export as CVF, CSV, not CVS. I'm talking too much. But yeah, so that's that, and then and now this is the scrape leads. So now that again everything is talking, we have our ICP, we're able to create our customer avatar, we have the context, right? We know the problem, we know what we're trying to solve for. We also have the URL of the decision maker specifically from that ICP. We're able to generate and get leads specifically from that specific ICP. So we see how everything is connected, and context is extremely strong in this build, right? So this is what you get. You get multiple data. You can have 1,000 of these or 2,000. And what's really unique is that this works behind the scenes. So you might be doing something else, right? And our tool works behind the scenes so that it can be able to generate all these things for you. Now, my favorite is the run deep research. Now, remember when we talked about how it took here, right? It takes about 20 minutes to do research. And the research, you have to go to ChatGPT, you have to go to Claude, and you have to go to Perplex, and like all these models that you have to play around back and forth with. What we've done, we've taken things to the next level. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna run deep research, and what it's doing is we have AI models on the internet, live on the internet, that runs deep research on this person. And I'm gonna show you what that what the deep research analysis looks like in a bit. But when you click on run deep research, results will appear in your dashboard once complete. It's gonna go and run deep research, and let's see what happens. So before I show you what happens in the dashboard, you can add leads. So which means that you can obviously download the templates. You can also upload a CSV. Let's say you have a bunch of people that you want to run deep research with, right? So let's say you have emails and everything figured out. You just want to research people, and you don't want to spend 20-15 minutes per person. You're gonna put in all the information and save it and add it as a lead. And when you do that, what's gonna happen is they're gonna populate here. And also obviously you can delete all. You can run one deep research, or you can run all deep research, which is 42, and they're all gonna go concurrently and run deep research on that prospect. So this is our first tool that we talked about here, which is we already see our smart prospecting, which allows us to scrape data, and we have access to 275 million contacts. We also have access to LinkedIn Sales Navigator and other tools. Now, we also talked about how no ugly spreadsheet. It's pretty much showing in this nice user interface and everything you need to be able to research a prospect, right? Your name, the title, LinkedIn, email, company name, location, industry, and pretty much run deep research. So now let's run to the deep research. So here it is, our lead dashboard, right? So we have different things that's happening here. So remember when I talked about how it takes about 20 minutes to do research on a prospect, right? Now, that can be done in less than 2 minutes with our deep research tool. So this is our company intelligence, right? So here, founded in 2007, so certified, right? IT company with 1,000+ technology professionals and delivering enterprise grade solutions and staff augmentation to 400+ overseas clients worldwide, right? It also tells you the business model signals, target audience, position summary, right? Lead intelligence. We're doing deep research on the decision maker, accomplished CTO with deep expertise in blockchain, AI, cybersecurity, emphasizes continuous innovation, strategic partnering building, and fostering. Now, I can click on this link and it takes me straight to their LinkedIn that allows me to verify everything, every single thing that's been mentioned here, right? So that's one. But also, I can see their decision-making style, right? I can see their growth philosophy, and I can also see their key influences. Strategic context, rapid international expansion with 1,000+ team members, multiple industry awards in 2024, and active participation in global tech conferences. Now, we give you all this data so that you can make informed decisions when it comes to reaching out. We've already done the hard or the manual prospecting, the manual research for you. It will have taken you maybe an hour just to be able to compile this data that we've already been created, right? It tells you jobs to be done, right? Strategic priorities, what they're trying to prioritize right now. Operational signals, right? Multiple awards in 2024, right? Web3 thought leadership, organization behavior. Company has scaled to 1,000 professionals, right? So if you want to reach out with a cold email or a personalized outreach, you can use all these signals, all these insights to help you make better informed decisions. Capacity indicators, right? 1,000+ technology professionals, 500+ overseas. These gives you a lot of insights to help you, right? And multiple concurrent hiring across 7+ roles. How do we know that? Well, let's go down and let's see if they're hiring. Boom. Right? Guess what? 7. They're doing SEO expert, web and graphic designer, mobile developer, QA, content, front-end developer, net developer, and I can click on each link and it will take me exactly to that specific page. Every single thing. I can click on that as a reference, right? So let's say you're an hiring agency. Now this is a strong signal. The fact that they're hiring means that they're trying to scale, right? And so you can use that in your cold outreach. So this is the intelligence that we give our clients when we custom build these tools for them, right? This is one of my favorite build in a very long time, which is the deep research. And you know, we spend so much time and effort to be able to make sure this thing is as comprehensive as possible. Now the buying intelligence is going to be different based off of your industry. And so what we're going to do, we're going to work with you to make sure that we can figure out what those buying signals or intelligence look like and map it into the deep research. So so it knows exactly where to find those signals, and it can let you know if that decision maker is signal ready or that company is signal ready to buy your stuff, right? Pain signal, timing signal, competitive context. It gives you their competitors. Now you can mention those competitors in your cold outreach, right? Market positioning, premium IT outsourcing provider, tech infrastructure. So our model, our research tool knows exactly what tools they're using. It also implied tools for you: project management platforms, quality assurance systems, integration complexity, right? AWS, Azure, SharePoint, MS, and remember, all of these are included. Some of these are included in the ideal customer profile build, right? Engagement strategy, personalization hook. So now we give you an insight on how you could personalize the outreach. Right? Maybe mention the presidential award recognition. Maybe mention the scaling to 1,000+ technology professionals successfully. Right? Call out hooks. Congratulations on the presidential award in 2024. Right? Timing recommendation, immediate. Momentum from recent awards. They're actively hiring, right? We saw how they're hiring 7+ roles, right? This shows you they're trying to scale operations, they're trying to scale their business or their company, right? Marketing assets, social proof, global enterprise across multiple sectors, social proof and trust signals, presidential award in tech category, right? Clutch global awards, ISO certifications, 500+ overseas clients, right? 1,000+ technology professionals delivering cost-effective, industry-diverse digital transformation at scale, right? Award-winning cybersecurity and software development capabilities. Recent news, presidential award, Clutch global award. So you can use all these social proof in your outreach, in your sales calls, right? Services and solutions. It tells you what their core offerings are, right? It's extremely detailed, and this is the kind of intelligence that we give to you. And that's why we also focus on custom build, because these deep research is not a one size fits all. When we come into your business to truly understand what you're trying to solve for, then we can build solutions that will help you focus on what you're trying to solve for and help you scale your business, right? So imagine having this at scale. Imagine having 1,000 of these. Imagine just clicking a button and say run full deep research and have all these insights in one place about this person or about these decision makers, right? Imagine having that. And again, everything is connected from ICP, customer avatar, lead research, and deep research. Now, let's take this to the next level. So now that we already have the deep research, so we have an insight of who we're trying to solve for. We also know them by name, right? Danish, Hamid, CTO, right? Let's go to personalization. Now, I can select and generate personalization. It will take 15 to 20 seconds, and let's see what happens. So now we have this personalization, right? So we have Ahmed. So we have his deep research analysis here, right? Now let's go to personalization, because at the end of the day, we're building a personalization engine that allows you to send emails or outreach that allows them to say, hey, this feels right. You've done so much work and effort to get to know me, and what you're trying to solve for is my problem, right? Have you seen cold emails of, I remember somebody reaching out to me and say, hey, Brima, I noticed you're trying to scale your sales team to 200 employees. I'm like, I don't even have a sales team. So if you're not careful, cold emails, especially with the wrong context, with the wrong signal, can mess you up. You can send an email to a decision maker and they were like, I don't even offer this service. Why do you think I have this service? So now it's a turn off, right? And you don't want that. So now we have the deep research on that person or that business, right? Now we took it to the next level. We have the value proposition. So now, if I want to pitch to Aham Soft, I'm destroying the company name right now, but we help ISO certified IT services companies, right, accelerate specialized talent acquisition in blockchain, AI/ML, cybersecurity, while maintaining the quality standard that differentiates you from competitors. Like, you see what's happening here? Cyclum and Intellect Soft. How does it know? Well, again, our deep research was able to mention that competitors like, Cyclum and Intellect Soft, right? So now they're like, oh wow, they even know my competitors. Power of Brimalabs, right? Enabling you to scale beyond 1,000 professionals and capture. So this value proposition is going to be different based off of what you're trying to solve for. Right now, since this is a demo, it doesn't really showcase anything. So if you're trying to solve for a specific, if you're trying to solve for like a cloud, or if you're a B2B or you're a marketing agency, the value proposition is going to be different. So that's why we work with you, so that we can be able to build out these value propositions inside the tool, so that it becomes more natural and there's no disconnect. So again, the context is tight, from ICP, connected, to the customer avatar, to the lead list, to the deep research, and to this personalization outlook, personalization tool. Everything is connected in one unified place. There is no copy and pasting to ChatGPT, to Claude. There's no copy and pasting from Google to something else. There is no tools disconnect. Everything is in one place. That's what you want, and that's what we're trying to solve for. It also mentions the pain point. So now we took it to the next level. Pain point, outrage. What does that look like, right? We even give you cold email templates. Hi Danish, congrats on impressive 2024 award wins and scaling to 1,000 professionals while maintaining ISO certifications. So now we're adding 2-3 personalization hooks to congratulate them. So they're reading it, you're like, oh wow, they know so much about me. And you're like, that's exceptional growth in a competitive IT outsourcing space. It is competitive, right? I noticed you focus on blockchain, AI, and cybersecurity specializations, plus your international expansion goals. Many IT service companies at your scale face the challenge of maintaining quality talent acquisition velocity, especially for emerging tech roles that differentiates you from competitors, like, again, name drop competitors. And this is a painful problem, right? So we congratulated them, which is more personalized. We're like, oh wow, thank you for acknowledging that. And I noticed you're in X industry, right? And because they're in that industry, they understand the pain points of those industries, right? Many IT services companies at your scale face the challenge of maintaining quality talent acquisition velocity, especially for emerging tech roles. We've helped similar ISO certified IT services companies reduce time to fill for specialized roles by 40%. So again, outcome based, and it's given numbers. Given your growth trajectory and the talent demands of serving 500 plus international clients, this might work for you. So we have email, we have LinkedIn, and also key talking points. So if he says, yeah, I'd like to talk, you can ask him or them, or you can ask the decision maker those type of questions, right? Discovery. So before the call, we give you insights of things you can talk about, key areas to explore, how they're managing quality control while scaling their 1,000 team globally, right? Messaging angles, discovery questions. And when you ask these questions, you're like, oh wow, this person is taking interest in me, in my business, and what I'm trying to solve for, right? So we see how much insights that we provide, right? And then we have the messaging strategies, and then we have our intelligence. So this is what Brimalabs is all about. This is what we do in terms of building out all these custom tools. Now that you have all these insights, now what? Well, now you do outreach, right? We also give you that opportunity as well. So you can choose between cold email, LinkedIn email, or follow-up. Let's say it's a cold email. You can choose between professional, friendly, direct, consultative, urgent, right? You want to be professional. And you can choose between focus area based off of the deep research that we talked about in the ICP. You can focus on different areas. You can focus on the pain points. You can focus on the company growth, timing, tech, hiring signals, recent news, market expansions, right? And then you can be able to position yourself as somebody that will get a higher response rate based off of that. And then obviously custom variables. This is where you put in your name, your company. Since this is a demo, but if you decide to work with us and we build you these tools, it's gonna be built in the system. So we already know who the name is, the company, the title, the specific pain point, and custom value proposition, right? So these are all things we can include and work with you as we're building out this tool for you. And then you can put in the urgency trigger if you want, and then just add like a custom prompt and say, hey, make it more urgent, focus on cost savings, mention their recent funding. So if you're like, I want to add something that's not here, you can just prompt the AI. Now again, instead of going to ChatGPT with copy and paste and thing, it's all in here and you can communicate with it. So let's do an example. And because of time, I won't go through this, but let me just click generating outreach. So here's what we're doing right now. So remember, we chose the pain point and we also chose the hiring signal. Again, everything is communicating. There's context from our dashboard here to personalization here. To personalization here, when you click on this, every insight and every deep research that we created, everything connect and talks to the one tool source, outreach. So you see how we did all these things, from ICP builder to customer avatar to lead list to deep research to personalization, and then finally outreach, right? So but we see how, hi Danish, first off, congratulations on your presidential award in the tech category. What an incredible recognition of your leadership in IT, right? Now I noticed you are hiring across 8 technical roles right now, from net developers to SEO expert. How do we know this? Well, when we go to the deep research, we know that they are hiring across 8 different 8 different roles, right? 8 different roles. So we have, it's 8, yeah. Content, PHP, front end, right? Net developer, SEO, web, mobile developer, and QA. Now, when you click on this, it takes you directly into the link, directly into that web page that you can go and verify. Mobile app developer, mobile developer. So it's 368, right? So it knows because we gave it context, and that's the power and the difference between the current tools out there and this one is context. It's context between ICP, avatar, lead, deep research, personalization, and everything is in one place, one unified place. Um, so I noticed your company is hiring across 8 technical roles. It even mentioned the roles from net developers to SEO expert. Given your recent Clutch Cybersecurity Award and ISO certification operations, you clearly maintain high standards while scaling, right? Now, it was Painpoint and hiring signals, not value proposition. Uh, Many B2B IT service providers I work with face similar challenge. So, personalized message, congratulations. Hiring signal, I noticed you're hiring. Painpoint, many B2B IT service providers I work with face similar challenges. Finding quality talent fast enough to compete with larger global providers, especially in emerging tech like blockchain, AI, machine learning. I've helped similar ISO certified companies reduce their technical hiring time by 60%. That's huge, right? Um, so now, would you be open for a brief 15-minute conversation about how we're helping companies like Soft scale their technical talent without compromising on quality? That's what they care about, and that's what you provide. Obviously, you see here your name, your title, your company. All of these can be filled out. If you work with us, we're going to build it inside of it, so it can automatically create that. And if you want to regenerate it, you can regenerate, or you can also create a follow up. You can add custom prompts. So let's say you you're trying to do something else that's not here. You can just tell it based on the context. It already knows when the deep research that we created, right? So it knows every single thing, right? And you can always keep regenerating. You can also create follow up if you want, and yeah, that context is preserved in one unified place. So this is the previous, and then you can always say, hey, I want you to add this or remove this or that. So there you have it, and then obviously you can copy and paste it. Now this is all automated. This can all be automated without clicking anything. There's obviously going to be human in the loop, where I want to make sure that there's humans reviewing this. So part of the build is to make sure your SDR, BDRs, or if you're a founder, you can go in and make tweaks. The goal is AI make mistakes, right? It's not perfect. So you want to go in and make sure everything makes sense. And um, we give you the tools, we give you everything you need to be able to create the best personalization outreach out there on the market. And that's our edge, helping you by really understanding your business, really understand what those revenue systems are when it comes to client acquisition, and really understanding how we can get somebody from you have no idea who they are to somebody saying, hey, I'm interested to work with you. So this is Danish. This is his LinkedIn. And what's really cool is everything that was mentioned in the deep research is in here. So he's a CFO, right? He's in blockchain, AI, cybersecurity, and yeah. So he's a CTO at this company. I'm in Soft, right? And yeah. So instead of just going through manually reading every single thing here, our deep research tool is able to create a detailed uh, a, uh, a detailed analysis of the company, but also of my CTO here, right? So there you have it. This is, and it also knows like it's in New Jersey, United States. Let's validate that. Let's see. Yes, Edison, New Jersey, United States. Confirm here. Edison, New Jersey, United States. So there's a lot of good things about this tool, and there you have it. One of our complete systems for acquisition system, right? So let's go back to the ROI calculator. So this is how it works, right? I've pretty much showed you what how the tool works. So we started off with the Painpoint, um, how much money is being spent on tools, how much money is being spent on uh, hiring SDRs to do the same thing, right? And I showed you how we take it from step 1 to step 7, everything automated, unified, and it saves so much time. So let's quickly go through the tools. So with our AI, with everything that I showed you, guess how much is being spent on subscriptions? Well, we don't need Apollo because we get that for free. We don't need Zoom Info. We don't need LinkedIn Sales Navigator. We definitely do not need Clay. We definitely do not need Phantom Buster, Apify. So now it's going down, right? We definitely do not need ChatGPT Plus subscription. We definitely do not need Cloud Pro. We definitely do not need Perplexity. We definitely do not need Hunter.io. We definitely do not need Find Email because everything is in one unified place. And we have a tool that already do this for you. And we definitely do not need, let's see, maybe we need Google Workspace. I don't think so. No, we don't need Google Workspace, at least for that specific use case, right? When it comes to research, because now everything is in one unified place where you can go to, you can make changes, you can always add stuff that I can use for later, and you can save it. That's it. Everything in one place, right? So there's a lot of good stuff here. So now, guess how much you're paying on subscriptions using everything that I just told you? $0. I'm not paying for no subscription right now using these tools that I just showed you. It pretty much do the same thing, and we do it way better. And we help you with the entire research process. Our deep research agents go in and give you this beautiful UI interface where you can go in and learn more about your ideal prospect and learn more about what they care about, and get different signals. There's 30 different data points here that you can take from. 17 years market presence, the company, expertise across cutting edge technology. They have an ISO. They're in blockchain, AR, VR, Internet of Things. Danish awarded presidential award in tech category for exceptional leadership in IT sourcing, right? And then they won Clutch Global Award as top cybersecurity company. So there's a lot of good things here. So it also gives you risk assessment, no recent funding information available, heavy dependent on overseas clients, right? Competitive IT service market. Qualification questions. Obviously, we have the hiring signals. You can always click on those signals and verify that it's accurate. And yeah. So let's go back to our ROI calculator. Like I mentioned, $0. So from 12 tools, now it's 0 tools. And you can just see how much money you're saving every single year. So just by using our tool that we're going to custom build for you, you never have to pay for subscriptions ever again when it comes to research, when it comes to everything that I showed you. So let's go back to what I was showing before, so that we can continue the calculator. So I think we had Zoom Info, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and also Apollo. I know it's total of 12, so I'm going to make sure that, and then we're using ChatGPT, Cloud, Perplexity, Hunter.io, Find Email, and it should be 12 Google Workspace. 11, there was one more. I think, yeah, Apify. And there was nothing here, nothing here. Find that mail. It should be around 71,000, correct? So let's go back to the analysis. So now that I've talked about how long it's gonna take, how long it used to take before AI or without AI, right? Without AI, it was manual. With AI, there was still fragmentation with like using different research tools, different AI tools. You have to give it context. For every tool that you use, you have to give it context. And if you're researching 20 different prospects per day, it means you have to scroll all the way up to find the prospects, read through that personalization, copy that personalization, and paste it into your CRM or your outreach tool. So even with or without AI, we can see how it's not as in-depth and user-friendly as what we're trying to build here in Brimalabs. So now from 52 minutes, you can do all of this in 2 minutes when it comes to the deep research, right? So something that will change the way you do things, and just one unified system that replaced $71,000 in scattered subscription tools. So if there's only one thing you take away from this video, is how much money we're saving our clients, or how much money we're going to save you from subscription tools just on research. And we can do, I just showed you how everything is connected in one place, which differentiate Brimalabs, what we're building, across what other tools are already providing. So that's $71,000 of tools saved every single year, right? Tools replaced all of them. One platform, 0 subscriptions. Again, context is king. We're able to make sure there's context across step 1 to step 7. So by the time the person receives that email, they're like, wow, I am so impressed with what you've done when it comes to research, but also how you sent me the email or outreach in a way that feels like you've known me for a very long time. That's what we want to, that's what the value we're getting here. And with the ICP setup, with the ICP builder and the customer avatar, you can use those data to run deep research and create personalized content strategy for your outreach, content for YouTube, LinkedIn, your blog post. Now you have a one centralized place, where you can come in and learn as much about your ICP, and in turn create product development roadmaps based off of this, create LinkedIn blog posts, create blog posts in general, create content for YouTube, and you can target different awareness levels for your prospect, from aware, from unaware, to those that are ready to buy. And this is the power of having an ICP from the beginning. And then we have our smart prospecting, clean lead database. There's no need for a spreadsheet where there's 20 different things happening, completely ugly and inefficient. And now you have a unified, better user interface when it comes to lead. You can add as many leads as possible and run as many deep research as possible. And yeah, you can also select based off of industry and all that, and everything connect from ICP, as I talked about, from leads here to dashboard. The deep research we create, all that data is connected to this personalization, outreach, discovery strategy, and in turn into this comprehensive outreach tool that you can choose between Painpoint, value proposition, company growth, leadership insights, timing signals, and you can have all of those in one email depending on what you're trying to prioritize. And you can always, add your own custom prompts that you would like. You can always regenerate, and you can always create follow-up. So imagine having 1,000 or 500 leads at scale, producing the same quality of deep research. That's the power of what we're building here. So that's sort of high level. I know this masterclass was long. Definitely, I'm doing it in one sitting, so it's not fun. To yeah. So here with the new tool, your BDR can finally focus on what matters. The BDR goal on SDR, founder, is to close deals and have conversations, hop in meetings, and have that face-to-face interaction. What we do is to make sure anything that doesn't relate to face-to-face communication, we automate and build great systems that help solve those, but also replace those. So now, if you want to do research to 500 leads a day, you can just click on, here, here, run all deep research. It can run behind the scenes while you focus on what you truly do best. Having conversations, hopping on meetings, having team meetings, having client meetings, and doing the things you do best. And no subscription tools needed, integrated directly into your CRM, directly into email sending tools, and we have all those custom built. $250 million contract, $250 million now. 275 million contacts are included. I've been recording for at least 4 hours now, so bear with me. But yeah, accurate data, end to end, unified in one place. Again, context matter. You don't want to lose that context. So that's what we provide. So when we look at the ROI, right, this is on average how much the $10 million business might be losing. Obviously, wasted salary, we talked about in the beginning of this video, about $75,000 is being wasted. Tool stack, obviously, $71,000. Turnover, lost pipeline that we talked about using this math here. And it could be lower, right? And this also could be higher, but we're just doing it for demo purposes and just show you the numbers. And when you work with us, obviously, you can be able to see how those numbers affect your business. So now, instead of doing 5 prospects a day or 9 that we talked about, now we can do 50 in 250 days. That's about 62,500 prospects you can do a year. So now we're saving you on tools alone $71,000, because I just showed you how I'm not paying for no subscription for everything that I built. I'm currently not paying for no subscriptions for the tools that I shared. So you can see the power of what we're doing here, right? Time saving, turnover reduction, and this revenue potential is based off of how much new leads we can generate, but also with the new leads, how much personalization we can create in a way that gets the prospect to say, hey, I'm actually interested to book a call with you. So now from 3.5, our hope is that we can bump that up to 12%. So now it's about 8.5 improvement just on personalization. And with this level of personalization, you can be able to book about 7,500 meetings at 12%, right? It could be more, it could be less. But based off of the pipeline meetings a year versus the $7,000 comes from this average deal size. Now, average deal size might be higher or lower. Let's say we do 5,000 is the average deal size. that number is going to be reduced. But we're very conservative with the numbers. And again, working with us, we can help play with those numbers and see how much value Brimalabs can provide. So about $5.3 million in potential new revenue, right? We're already saving you so much money on tools, time, right? Now, with this same level of outreach, 500 people, 500 leads a month, right? You will need to hire at least um, you will need to hire at least 53 BDRs to hit a 20% growth target. And now, because of that, you're spending about $3.5 million just on paying for those BDRs versus fixing the problem. And if you want a 3x growth with the same thing, you have to have about 164 BDRs, right? So there's smart ways you can do this. We can give you the tools that you need to empower your BDRs, empower your salespeople to be as efficient as possible. So you're losing almost 700K annually to inefficient processes, and this are ROI. Brimalabs deliver 5.3 million in potential benefits every single year. Obviously, these results are potential and may vary based on your specific business conditions and implementation. But what you just saw here today is our expertise, our ability to build product at scale, build product that actually solve a pain point, and that's our value proposition. So when you come to us, we really focus on understanding your business, understanding every single thing there needs to be when it comes to how you generate business, how you generate revenue, and then we work with first principle to see what are the best possible solutions out there we can build, custom build for you, that will help you eliminate unnecessary cost, right? So here, you know, all the subscription tools that I mentioned, and with Brimalabs, annual tool saving 100%, right? You have 30 different data points researched, AI personalization engine. uh, you can send through LinkedIn, uh, email, script in one platform, no tools needed, one unified system. You never have to go with, you never have to switch between ChatGPT, Cloud, Perplexity to figure out, hey, how can we make this um, write me a personalized email based off of my research notes, right? No, it's we completely solve that. There's no need for that because everything is done in systematic, orderly, by arrangement manner. Right, so one login, one system, zero context switching, which is extremely important. All data stayed in one place, no loss between tools. Full feature utilization, no paying for unused licensing. All right, AI handles research and work automatically. So we can be your AI developers where we focus on the technical aspect. We have a lot of business domain expertise as well, and so partnering with us will give you all the AI tools, all the build necessary so that you can scale your business. You focus on closing deals. We focus on the technical stuff, building the tools so that you can be a competitive edge in this AI era, right? So imagine your competitors have this kind of tools. They're gonna beat you to market, and they're gonna take as much revenue share in the market from you, right? Because these give them the power to not only send or research 5 emails a day or 5 prospects a day, they can do 1,000 a day. So imagine doing 1,000, 500, 200 a day, and you're doing 5 or 10. Do the math, right? So bottom line, one platform. So if you're a CEO, your sales team is manually researching prospect at 45 a day. Meanwhile, competitors using research agents like Brimalabs can do it 500 to 1,000 prospects per day. They are not working harder, The AI agents do the heavy lifting while your teams focus on selling. And this manual process can cost you this, and will potentially, in 3 years, you're looking at over $2 million in gap revenue. So what we did here was, depending on the decision maker, so for CEO, these are the numbers. For CFO, hey, this is how much is wasted every single year. This is potential loss pipeline. And this is 45 prospects per day is your growth ceiling right now. And that's assuming 45 prospects per day focused on that specific task. Now, BDRs, salespeople, or founders doing research, research is about 45% of your daily work. So it means, instead of, if you're doing, let's cut that in half, that's about 22 prospects a day instead of 45. So now you're even lower, right? And if you want to grow revenue by 20%, you need to hire 53 more BDRs, which will cost you about $3.5 million. So, yeah, and obviously marketing and sales. So, I hope you really enjoyed this masterclass to just showcase what we've built so far from first principles. Again, these are custom built solutions. We come into your business, really understand your pain points, and then build something that actually drive the needle. I hope that you've been able to see our level of expertise in developing these AI solutions, but also see how sort of the way we think through problems, right? We're focused on ROI, right? So if it doesn't drive the needle, we're not going to spend time building it or building a solution, right? And everything that I did was break down the problem into its smaller steps and showcase the journey, right? A lot of these might not be accurate, but the point is, if you can measure something, it means you cannot improve it. So if you can't measure how much time is being spent on these things, it means you can't improve it. And by seeing all these numbers, right, I've able to show you how we can improve and how we can make this 10x better than what you already have. And I've already showed you how you can save almost 100% of your tools by just using Brimalabs. Well, by allowing us to build you custom solutions like this. So completely eliminate Perplexity, Cloud Pro, ChatGPT, Phantom, Amplify, Apollo, Zoom Info, LinkedIn, Definitely Clay, Hunter, Find Email, and Google Workspace. Google Workspace, the use case was for the spreadsheet and the Google Docs. Everything is in one unified platform. This is the dashboard where you see all the leads, right? Also on verified emails, you can verify emails at scale. You can also find emails of people, but this is where you put in notes of whoever you're trying to research though. So that way the AI can learn from those inputs and make better informed decisions. So I hope you like this. If you wanna chat with us for us to build your own custom tool, you can book an assessment. Now, the growth assessment starts at 7,500. You will get, based off of this assessment, 6 different strategic assets that you can get. And if you decide to work with us, so you pay the 7,500 or whatever, how much that is, 10,000, whatever, 50% goes to implementation. So you pretty much get a 50% discount once we do the assessment for you, and then you decide, hey, I would like you guys to implement the things that you suggested. If you do that, you get 50%. So 50% towards implementation. So that's a good deal, right? Um, so yeah, so if you're interested, you can book a call with us. You can book an assessment, put in your information, and then you will get an email, and then we can get to work. So I hope you enjoy this. This is the process discovery. We take pride in really understanding your pain point, really understanding all the problems that needs to be solved. That includes, talking to your employees, talking to people that are directly impacted with this problem, understanding their pain point, being in the trenches to really see what's happening behind the scenes. How are they doing things now? So that when we start building, we can use all those insights, all those knowledge, that context, and use that in our custom build. So the discover is crucial when it comes to developing a solution that actually drive the needle. Then we design, then we build, and we help you scale. So yeah, um, thank you, and I hope you enjoy this. And I will be creating more videos in the future, but I hope this masterclass shows you how much money is being spent on manual prospecting, shows you how much money is being spent on manual repetitive work, how much salary is being wasted, potential lost revenue, and I hope you're able to see how our system completely solves all these problems. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this and have a good rest of your day. Bye.